Okay, start recording. Hi guys, Tony here. I'm with Holly again, and we've got Rolly Ryan, and we've got Robert Stone Jr. here as well. We're going to be covering today how to use VidBlaster to put pre-recorded videos onto Google Hangouts. Okay, so Rolly is going to cover that, and we're going to do some Q&A similar to what we did last week. I want to be able to talk to Rolly a little bit more about what he's doing for monetization and you know, some strategies for getting clients or whatever. Because the first the part one of the interview we did with Rolly, my audio was really bad, and we didn't get the best out of that interview, and it was all my fault at that particular day. So I do want to cover some of that again, Rolly, if that's okay with you, and give people a clearer and better understanding of what you're doing. And by the end of this webinar, guys, you're going to see this is one smart guy. Very good at what, you know, the way he thinks about how to optimize and about the strategies and stuff like that. And I really hope that comes across for you today, because I got lots of different little nuggets when we did the first interview, even though I was struggling half a mind on the audio side. But you know, I came away from that with a lot of great information, and not many people can do that with me. You know, that I will sit there and just think, wow, I didn't think of this and I didn't think of that. And between Holly and Rolly, it's completely changed the way I'm thinking about SEO in the last month or so. So I'm really looking forward to this. Anyway, I'm going to switch the screen over to you, Rolly. Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Yep, hello. How's everybody doing?
Okay, let's just change the presenter, and I'm going to put Rolly as a panelist. Click on yes, and we should start to see your screen. Do you have something pop up to show your screen?
Yep.
There we go.
It should be sharing my screen now.
Yeah, I can see Alienware.
Yeah, I use a pretty high-end machine for my main machine, actually, just because I do a lot of video editing and different things like that, and it's just a hassle if you're sitting there waiting for 5 minutes for something that can easily take a few seconds on a faster machine.
Yeah.
But if you want, I can basically just dive into how I go about putting a video into a Hangout on Air system faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting a lot of feedback that people are having a hard time hearing you, Rolly.
Okay, let me see here. Is this any better?
Perfect, much better.
Yeah.
Okay. So, excuse me. Basically, I'd use a program. What you want to do is, it's my internet. So there's two things you need if you are going to be doing this with VidBlaster. The first is a virtual audio cable, because one of the main problems with pushing a video into a Hangout on Air is a lot of people try to use things like VLC video player or minicams, or there's a pile of different software, VidBlaster, Wirecast, vMix. They all will play the video itself, but there's no internal way to get the audio from these applications into the Hangout on Air system, because it's set up to pick up physical devices, microphones, webcam microphones, and stuff like that. So what you do is you need a virtual audio cable, which will create a line between the software internally through your system to the Hangout on Air system, and you can go to this website here, and right in the middle is a virtual audio driver download. It's pretty simple. It just downloads a little package. It has one big button. It says install. It installs a virtual audio in and a virtual audio out, similar to what it shows in this screenshot here, and we'll be using that. And then the next thing we will be using is VidBlaster, which is a video production tool, and you can get it at vidblaster.com. They do have a free trial version which has all the functionality of their highest studio version, or their second highest studio version here, not their broadcast version. The only thing it does is it puts a little watermark down in the bottom left-hand corner of your videos, but that can easily be covered over by a simple Hangout overlay, or you can buy the product, and if you're going to buy the product, you need at minimum the Pro version, because the Pro version has the video out module that you need, which the home version doesn't, and I can't remember how much the Pro version is these days. It is something like $600 or $700, I think. $600 for one single Pro version. But if you're going to be doing a lot of videos into Hangout on Airs, this is, so far, you can even ask Holly, this is probably one of the best ways for quality, especially if you're doing moving video, live streaming video, even quickly moving PowerPoint slides seem to get a little blurry if you're doing the cheap way, which is using a free version of VLC and using the screen share option in Hangout on Air. Plus, also what this software allows you to do, you can do a lot of different things with it. You can pump live feeds from things like Skype, different things like that. You can actually push video into Skype and Google Hangouts. It actually has a setup for that. It has a pile of different effects, overlays, transitions, in and out. So it can do a pile of different things, that are especially useful if you're going to get into video marketing. And I just got to find my shortcut.
Rolly, what was the name of that first site for the audio cable thing?
It is, here, I'll just bring it back up. I just put it in the chat.
Oh, great, thank you.
It is vb-audio.
Okay.
Pages presso. It's a bit of a long, weird one, but it's basically the VB audio cable, virtual audio cable. There is another one out there called VAC that you can use. It's a little bit more advanced. It costs, this one's free, but the VAC version costs $20 or $25 to buy. And you can use, this one does a one-to-one, so you can only have one in, one out, while the VAC version, you can have, up to 100 ins and outs, as many as your computer CPU can handle. So if you're doing a little bit more advanced stuff, that's definitely the way to go. And this is WEB1NAR. I have the broadcast version, so it has a few more bells and whistles. But it's pretty much the exact same for functionality when you're actually going to do your Hangout. The three modules you need are the video out module, the player module, and a program module. And what you're going to want to do is, it's actually pretty simple when you're getting into the program. You can right-click on the player module, click Open, and it will just give you a regular Windows file manager, and you just pick the video that you want to play. And if you click on the screen where the player is, it turns a little light red, which means your player is active, and if you hit play, the video comes through and it just starts playing, and you got it and plays your little video. Then up here is your actually video out, and what you'd do is you'd select the input that you want, which is player 1, and you'd select the output, which is the WEB1NAR virtual video device driver. And if you turn that on, anything that is being picked up by the VVD will display this video. A few things you want to look at is the resolution. If you want HD resolution in YouTube at the end, you want to make sure you set it to the 1280 by 720 HD within WEB1NAR. But one of the things I've been noticing is if you're shooting, or if you have videos that were created in a much lower resolution, say 640 by 360, which is the regular resolution that comes with YouTube when you start playing something, or something even lower,
I think really, but it looks like some
Yep.
people saying that it's not the volume is kind of low. Is there any way you can turn up your volume?
Um,
Or just shout at them if you like.
how's this sound? Any better?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was out today and it was a bit dusty, so my throat's a little hoarse, so I can make it a little louder.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the video resolution. So if you're creating videos in a much lower resolution, it's actually better to pick that lower resolution when you're sending the video in VidBlaster to the Hangout on Air. If you pick a higher resolution, all it's going to do is use up more CPU usage on your computer, and it'll actually cause the video to be even more blurry and choppy as an end result. So you want to try to match your video resolution in VidBlaster to what it was made in. The next thing you want to do is check your frame rates. If you're using the free version or the pro version, you're only going to be able to get up to 30 frames per second, which is perfectly fine. If you end up buying the higher end version, you can actually get up to 60, which will make live motion video work really well. I've actually taken a video clip of Wolverine's the movie Wolverine and pushed it through a Hangout on Air, and it looked pretty close to the same as the regular movie itself. So the last thing you might want to bring up, just in case you have a bit of a slower computer, is to bring up the CPU usage, which you can get under the View menu. There's 3 lines on here, the first 2 green lines and a 3rd red line. If you're getting into the 3rd red line, your computer's not strong enough to be running this program, and you're going to probably have to run one of the smaller programs like vMix or run VLC with screen share. If you're running the 2nd green line, it's not too bad, but you're probably not going to get amazing video quality. You're still going to get some pretty high video quality, but not probably 720 HD. If you're running anywhere around the 1st green line or lower, you're going to be doing fine. And so what we would do is come over here. We can sign in. And that's not the one I wanted. This one. So you always want to make sure you pick the channel that you're actually wanting the Hangout on Air to end up at. I know a lot of people have had problems with that. They log into their Google account and they're in their main Google account, but they have a different channel for their videos, like a branded channel or something like that, and they put their Hangout on Air and it ends up showing up in their personal account, which doesn't usually help anybody, and then they got to redo the whole thing, and it's a big pain. So you'd open up your Gmail account, go over to Hangouts, start a Hangout, and this one I had set up earlier. Drop in your title and your description, and then like I was saying, Tony, and when you're doing your description at the very bottom, you can see the hashtags. And right now, they're actually, since they're just copy and pasted in, they don't translate properly. Well, it doesn't want to do it for me. Hold on. But what they should look like is like this. That's a properly translated hashtag. The rest of these won't translate until you actually put them through. Redo them in Google+, but this one will show up as a hashtag just like normal Google+, Twitter hashtags. And what I found with these hashtags is definitely it's a big ranking factor in both Google Plus system and the YouTube system. A lot of people are using them, but I've actually found I put hashtags that have nothing to do with the video, nothing to do with the content ever mentioned anywhere else, and I've been able to get on the first page of YouTube rankings for just by putting a simple hashtag in. So it's definitely something to look at. And also, if you're building brands or if you're promoting products and you have a lot of circles and whatnot, you can get a lot of extra traffic to your videos by putting these hashtags in and not only putting stuff in that you want to have people rank for, but putting in stuff that you want to have people search for. So because Google Plus is becoming a pretty big search engine in its own right within its own system. People search for products, people search for other people in various circles, communities, all different kinds of things, and the videos can show up all over the place without you even knowing where it shows up by just putting in simple hashtags. You can choose your circles. Some people want to edit their Hangout before it actually goes live to anybody else. And if you want to do that, you just create a circle within your Google Plus system, call it private, call it whatever you want, but as long as you don't have anybody in that circle, when you send it out, when you actually make the Hangout live, it'll end up on YouTube as an unlisted video, so you don't have to worry about people seeing it until after you've edited it. So a lot of people don't realize that one, but we'll just do this one as public. Hit share. One thing people don't do also is to hit the +1. You might as well give yourself a +1 right off the bat. It always helps to start the whole thing off, especially if you're got a branded channel with a lot of followers. It shows up on their system that you've +1 this one. Start the Hangout. Of course, skip the invitees. While the Hangout is preparing itself, you can go up here, and these are the settings that you want to make sure you have set right. You want to make sure you have the VidBlaster VVD as your input video source, and you want to have the output video source as the input audio source as the cable output. And that's one thing I didn't mention over here is under audio device, you want to make sure you have the same thing, the reverse, the cable input VB virtual audio cable. So what that will do is that ties this video's audio to the Hangout on Air's audio as if you were pushing it directly to a microphone. The headset you don't have to worry about, and that's all the settings for that. One thing also you want to do is you want to switch it to, if you're doing live webcam stuff, enhanced actually makes it so things are a little bit crisper. It makes it a little bit brighter, but when you're doing videos, what it will do is, I don't know if I can get it to show it with this one. Let's see here. Just going to flip it around with the Hangout toolbox quick so we can read it. As you can see, I don't know if it comes well over this webinar or not, but around the letters you'll see this weird faint shadowing going on, and what it's trying to do is it's trying to enhance the foreground of the background and make it so these words stand out. But when what that translates into is when it gets into the YouTube video, it makes these text words fonts look very fuzzy, and especially if you're not using a very high CPU PC, it'll make things look very blurry. If you're using transitions in a PowerPoint slide video, it'll definitely make things sometimes unreadable.
Rolly, I'm sorry to interrupt. We have people complaining that they can't hear you again.
They can't hear me again?
Yes, the volume did go down, yes.
How's this? Is that any better? I'll try to put the mic as close to my mouth without eating it. So yeah, the one thing you want to switch is if you go from enhanced and you switch it to original, it actually gets rid of all that fuzzing or enhancement, and it makes the videos look a lot crisper. Another thing you want to do these days is, when the Hangout on Air system first started, there was not very many people using it. Now there's a few thousand Hangouts going on every hour from what I've read, and the system hasn't been upgraded for that type of load, mainly because the live webinar videos through webcams and whatnot, they don't need that high of resolution for it to make it look reasonably good on the viewer's end when they're watching it on YouTube. But when you're pushing videos through the Hangout on Air, you actually want that crisp reproduction of the product, and Depending on the time of the day, how many Hangouts are going on, the system might be overloaded, and it doesn't matter what you do, you put it through at high definition, you'll still get a bad quality video, and you sometimes have to redo it. So what I like to do is I like to sit on the Hangout for anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds just to make sure that everything's buffered fine and there's no problems, and the stream is sort of leveled out. It seems to help the overall process. Since we've been talking this long, I think it's been long enough. So what I would normally do is, normally I'd have two screens, and this makes it a little bit easier, but you can easily just restart this. You basically hit start broadcast and wait for it to go live. And now it's live. Usually I wait another 4 or 5 seconds while the broadcast started, because one thing you'll notice every now and then is a video will start off slightly blurry, and then after about 5 to 10 seconds it will clean up and become HD quality. If you wait the 5 to 10 seconds right off the bat, you can usually trim that out with the enhance tool within YouTube. And then you just go over here, you hit play. As you can see, the video is playing in both.
Okay, here's the deal. Listen closely.
One thing that you will find
I will
out
not
is that
even
the audio
ask
is
you
being
for
pushed
any
from
payment
internally
details,
from
okay?
the
This
VidBlast
is not
to the
a
Hangout
pay in
here.
30 days
You won't be
automatically
able to hear through your
subscription type
speakers.
thing.
Raleigh,
No
the
need for
video
credit card
audio is
info,
coming through
bank
and
info,
talking over you.
any other mumbo jumbo.
Oh,
That's right,
oh, it is?
download the German binary robot today, free of charge.
Okay, the video audio was coming, so you probably need to
Oh, really?
repeat what you were saying there. Yeah.
No, it must be because the way I have it set up, because to make my microphone work. Well, normally when you're playing it, I can actually stop that broadcast. When you're playing it through the VidBlaster, you won't actually be able to hear anything in your own speakers. VB Audio does have a voice meter tool that makes it so that you can split the audio into 3 if you do need to hear it. If you are doing quite a few of these, I find it a lot easier just to not worry about the audio coming through my speakers, and just I pump out 20, 30, 40 sometimes in an hour to try to, and I just sit there, play my music, and push through them. So basically that video is done. Then you would normally just go over to YouTube and wait for the video to come through. Yeah, that's pretty much the process to get that through. Get a video from VidBlaster into Hangout system. I know a lot of people have had problems with their PCs not being able to run VidBlaster, and there's this program. It's also has a free version. The free version doesn't have a watermark. It actually has a few nice little features to it. But the free version here, it works fairly similar in technical aspects. It has a few different menu features that you have to click on, but it doesn't need nearly as high of PC and CPU usage, memory usage to run a Hangout and get decent quality. You won't get great 720 HD, but you'll get some pretty high-end video quality still. And then the last one would have been doing using VLC with a screen share, but I've seen some of that, and it's definitely not very good quality. If you're doing static videos that just have a screenshot of something sitting there and nothing else, that'll work fine. Just playing VLC full screen with the Hangout on Air screen share option. Still not here. This one has a 60-day trial, and then it works. Which actually you can use everything. I think it's this version you get the 60-day trial on, and then once the 60 days are done, you can use it completely free, and you don't have to worry about the watermark, like I was saying with VidBlaster, with the VidBlaster free demo version.
Okay, Raleigh, if you were going to recommend, if you're going to recommend one of these programs to get started with, which one would you think would be the easiest one for people to use?
The easiest one for people to use is VidBlaster, but like I say, it's got because it's simple as, so even if it were to start out like this is the way it comes with nothing, pretty much, you just have, it's pretty simple to add a player, well, yeah, add a program, and add a, where is video out? So, and then, like I say, just pick the video you want, player 1, video out, and that's pretty much it. So it's actually very simple to use from that aspect. vMix, which I actually have on this computer. If you have a slightly slower PC, this is what vMix looks like. So it's a bit more flashy and complicated looking. What you would simply do is you would click Add Input, pick a video, click OK. You have the video. You would pick which external, which would be output. You want to make sure your audio settings, and you can, as you can see, it's just a little bit more technical, but you would want to pick your VB audio cable as your out. You'd want to pick for your external output your vMix video device driver, and that's pretty much it. You would hit start. It would send the video to the Hangout system, and you'd hit play, and it would start going through. Like I say, this doesn't give quite as good a quality. It's a little bit darker. I've been playing with some of the settings. It definitely, out of the box, it's not as nearly good a quality, but it's good enough quality for anybody to get decent lead generation, affiliate marketing, even client videos up and running. I've shown a few people vMix, and they plugged client videos through it, and it works just fine. Just I find a little bit harder to.
It looked much easier to use than the other one. That one looked quite simple when you said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. It just seems a lot simpler because you're using the 3 different things that you're pulling into the screen there with the other one, with VidBlaster. Do you want to take some questions now? Should we do some questions?
Yeah, sure. The one thing I was going to show is,
Sure.
So this was the video that we did.
Yeah.
What a lot of people want to hide the fact that they're using Hangout on Air system, or hide it as much as possible. What you can do is you can, so as you can see at the back end of this, it shows Hangout on Air, and you can just trim that system off, and I don't think there was any off the front, but like I had that 5 to 10 second wait time, and you can just remove that, and what that'll do is it will trim the audio, or trim the whole video, so that it's now a shorter video and it doesn't have that Hangout on Air at the end. So that's one way of getting rid of some of that fuzziness that a lot of people are noticing these days, is just to let it play for a little bit longer and then trim it after the fact. But yeah, we can go through some questions now.
Okay, let's pull these questions up, and I have to go back to the top. There was quite a few coming through, so just bear with me. And
oh yeah.
Okay, there's a lot about the volume. But see, if you got some questions, guys, please just let us know. Somebody's saying zone alarm ran an emergency scan and quarantine VidBlaster. Sometimes that happens because of the certificates. It happens even to my software sometimes, and we paid something like
Yeah,
$500 to get a certificate.
I've known a lot, Kaspersky, AVG, Avast, I can't remember what other ones, all run a heuristic scanning algorithm for their virus scanning. And since WEB1NAR actually has a device driver included within it for its video device driver, in order to push the video through the internal system, it recognizes that as it's something trying to manipulate Windows, and it will stop it. I can guarantee that there is no virus. It's a perfectly legitimate production software. So lots of people, I've mentioned a lot of people, they just have to pause or turn off their virus scan while they're downloading it, install it, and it will be just fine.
Yeah, and does both these softwares, they work on PC and Mac?
No, so far that I know, these only work on PC. There is one. Let me see if I can still find it. There's another one that actually I know some people have tried, and I've tried it. Is Wirecast. It's another one that people can use. It's another PC-based one. Just trying to think here. Where's my history? I have another one that I know works for Mac. I just got to find it. I'll find it later, and I'll put it in the chat box.
We can put some links in a PDF or something later.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Is the webinar being recorded? All the webinars get recorded, Dale. Every webinar will get recorded and will be put into the fan page and the Facebook group probably. Okay. And let's see. Have you ever used vMix? That's the one we just covered. I actually thought that one looks easier. Why not just use Easy Video Suite? Sorry, we've got a time delay when I'm talking and you're talking, so it crosses over. Easy Video Suite. Have you tried that?
I have not tried that one.
Right. Okay. I haven't done that either. Holly, have you used Easy Video Suite?
Yeah, I used them all, and WEB1NAR by far is the one you guys want to use.
WEB1NAR, you reckon, yeah?
Yeah, WEB1NAR is the one that I always go back to. I've tried them all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Wirecast can do work on a Mac.
Okay. So, right, for people who are using a Mac, but you know, there's so many software tools come out that is just for PC, and a PC is not that expensive to get a cheap one that you can use just for that kind of stuff. Because a lot of product creators, I think it was Joe Finn that mentioned in the Facebook group, you know, if you make a software that will work for both Mac and a PC, you know, you're trying to create something for an additional 1% of the market, and a lot of people won't do that. They will rather use software that is built in .NET because, you know, 95% of the market is using PC. So, you know, it's always better just to have a sort of cheap PC sitting about somewhere that you can use these kind of tools, in my opinion. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Have you run into streaming quality where its beginning is poor? I think really just covered that with doing the editing in the advanced editor in YouTube, and that cuts that out by leaving it to load for, you know, about 5 or 6 seconds or so before you start to play it. Nearly everything is simple when you know how to do it. Yeah, I think we need a step-by-step though to be able to do this.
Yeah, I can put together a step-by-step PDF.
Yeah, I think that would really, really help a lot of people if we could, where it's just easy for them to. Someone is saying, Mark Steele saying, can't you just record a video to YouTube then use it as a Hangout?
There is a within the Hangout system, like if I just do a within the Hangout system. There is, where is it? have this, which you can basically play a YouTube video within the Hangout, but the quality is about, like if you take a decent...
We've lost audio again. Oh, there, you're back. Okay. Something's happened there with the audio. Are you still here, Rolly? Hearing some background noise, but I don't think it's from Rolly. Robert, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me, Tony?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. There just seems to be a lot of issues with Rolly's audio today, which is a shame. I think we definitely need a step-by-step on this because a lot of people will be a little bit confused because it has to go kind of fast because we're on a webinar, but it can be a little bit confusing for people to understand. Rolly, are you back yet? Okay. Holly,
Right, I sent him a message, Tony.
Yeah, I heard you typing in the background. Holly, you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. When you're using VidBlaster yourself, are you finding? Did you find it was a sort of big learning curve to be able to use it, or do you find it was quite easy to pick up and run with quite quickly?
Rolly did a YouTube tutorial when I first was getting into it, and I copied literally step by step, and yeah, as soon as I got everything set up and I understood how my audio cables were like, because not everyone's audio cables are the same, so I had to mess around with disabling some and enabling the other ones. Once I figured out that, then yeah, it was like perfect.
Cool.
I haven't tried the vMix or anything like that, but I mean VidBlaster is the one that really is kind of the best one to use.
Okay, and I guess you got your VA working with that, doing the stuff for you.
Yeah, I have two audio lines. I have the VB audio virtual cable, and then I have a regular one called virtual audio cable. There must be two different ones.
Yeah. Okay, so someone's asking other options that are less expensive. I think if I understood correctly, the volume was going up and down. That VidBlaster cost about $600. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have the studio one. The studio one has a watermark on it. You could just put like a third layer, and it's kind of always going to be there, even with a third layer. You can kind of always see it, but I mean, really, is someone going to be? I mean, I'm a perfectionist, and it annoys me, but at the same time, like, you just have to let it go.
Okay, I don't know, I've got a background noise here. And Holly, you mentioned there about were you using a lower cost version of VidBlaster? Did you say? I had a car going past me. I missed.
The studio.
Studio. How much does that version cost?
I don't have the bought version. I have just the regular, it's a trial version of Studio.
Okay, cool.
When I was looking to buy it, it was like $1,000, and the only difference is it has a watermark, so I can deal with a watermark.
Right. Okay. I think Rolly's just made me present, or somebody just made me present. I think we've lost Rolly, and we need to try and get him back in a little bit later. I'm thinking, yeah, he might be restarting his computer again or something. So we've got the Facebook group in the background there for now. Okay. Okay. So does anybody have any questions right now that maybe Holly can answer for you as she's using VidBlaster? Tom is saying, please explain what this does for us. It's a way to use to get pre-recorded videos into Google Hangouts. That's what it's doing. And Ken is saying hashtags in YouTube description and or tags. It's in the YouTube description, but the hashtags, you can see the way Rolly did them. There's no spaces in between the words. And how do we make the hashtag become blue? I don't actually know. I kind of missed that. It went over my head a little bit because of the volume. Does anybody else know? Holly, do you know how he made those hashtags blue? One of them was blue and the rest were not.
I think that he copies them in, and then you have to actually go into the description and like delete the first letter right before the hashtag and put it in again because it doesn't copy in right.
Oh, okay, okay. That's interesting. And Ken saying, hope there will be a replay. Have to watch this again. There's too much to get written down. Yeah, Ken, there's always going to be a replay, and we always try and do a step-by-step after something like this because it can be a little bit confusing. I can hear somebody in the background. Is that Rolly back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, great.
He's
Great.
back!
Welcome back, Rolly.
Yeah. I can I caught the tail end of that hashtag thing. I can mention that.
Yeah.
If you just type them in normally, just the pound sign and the hashtag with no spaces, and you hit the tab button, it'll create the hashtag. But if you're pasting text in like I was doing there, it doesn't do that little tab feature in the paste. So what you have to do is you have to cut it out, repaste it in, and hit tab at the end of it, and we'll turn it into a blue hashtag.
Yeah. Okay. And Mark still was asking, is this webinar just going to be about making videos for using in Hangouts? Well, basically what we wanted to cover, because it was a lot of people were asking last week, how do we use pre-recorded videos and get them into Hangouts, Mark? That's why we started with this. Rolly volunteered to help out to show how he does that. But we will be doing some Q&A about monetization strategies and other stuff that Rolly does, and we will have some commentary from Holly as well. Okay. Let's see if we've got some more in here. So if I've missed any questions, guys, if I'm going past any questions here, then feel free to put them in again. Just copy and paste them in again. We'll try and answer every single one. Okay. I want to change the presenter back over to you, Rolly.
Okay.
So we can... It's easier for you if you're answering some questions if you got the screen now. Okay, Larry's asking, will the vMix Basic HD be sufficient?
Yeah, the vMix.
Yeah, okay.
Like the $349 or the Basic HD. Yeah, the Basic HD is actually more than enough. Like I said, the only difference is the free version. You're only getting 768 by 576, so it's not quite as good as quality. But if you're willing to spend the $60 Australian dollars, yeah, the Basic HD is more than enough to do pretty decent quality videos.
Yeah, that's not a bad price actually. It's a lot.
No, not compared to the $600 of the other one. Yeah, and one of the things, like I was saying, it might not seem as complicated, just because I know exactly where to click on. The instruction manual is definitely not that useful for trying to figure out how to do things. When it starts up, it takes over your screen with full screen, so there's a bit of funky things that happens. But what you can actually do is, I never showed with the input, for people that want to do some different things, you can actually do audio, images, PowerPoints directly to it. So it's got quite a few nice features. I just find that the overall quality is still a little bit better in VidBlaster, and for simplicity, I can bang out 40 videos into Hangout on Air with VidBlaster, while with the vMix I'm probably down to about 20-25 in the same amount of time.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. And Dave Dolan saying, just checked, it says free trial, not free. I think he's talking about VidBlaster. I said, what am I missing?
You can get the free trial, but then you can actually get, after you do the free trial, it just dumbs it down to this version.
Ah, okay. Okay. So you start with the free trial, which is the pro version, I think it was, and then afterwards it just goes
I
back
think
to
you
the
get the
basic.
4K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get the 4K version is
Uh-huh.
the free trial.
Oh yeah, sorry, I see it in the background now. Okay, Bob McAllister saying you did that for each video, I'm guessing so.
Yeah, each video. So if I was trying to take over the first page for local market, for car washing, we'll say, and I had 20 videos I'd created, I'd do that entire process for each single video.
Yeah. Someone's saying interesting what PC specs are good for this. Which Alienware PC are you using?
I'm using this. I think it's the 7800. It's their gaming high-end system. It's definitely not the highest end of that system, but it's got 16 gigs of RAM. It's got an i7 CPU, so it's definitely a decent machine. It's in the $1,200 to $1,500 range.
Yeah, I've got a big yellow one like this that I'm using right now.
Yeah,
I
but
got
if you're like anybody that's getting serious about video marketing, the amount of time I spend, like I have some colleagues that have regular desktop machines that they bought for $600, $400, and the amount of time they spend rendering videos, manipulating videos, editing, doing the Hangouts, all that kind of stuff, it's about 5 times as much as I spend on, and so the $1,500 is well worth the price in the end.
Okay. Let's see. I kind of lost my place there with the questions. Clive is saying, I was running VidBlast and the video comes through choppy. How can I fix that? Do you have that problem?
Make sure you have nothing running on your PC while you're doing it, no extra windows open. I usually run the Hangout on Air in an incognito window, so Chrome doesn't have any of its extra add-ons running or extensions running. That's pretty much all you can do. Make sure you're running the CPU usage bar while you're doing it and seeing where your CPU usage at. If it's spiking too high, there's not much you can do other than a new PC or more RAM type thing.
Yeah. Sandy asking, can you use Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere instead of VidBlaster?
I know Adobe Premiere has a video out. I'm not sure about how the drivers work or anything like that, and I'm not sure about how it would specifically work with the audio system, so I couldn't comment.
And MJ is asking, will hashtags be effective for regular videos uploaded on YouTube, or does it only work for Hangouts? Well, I did this actually. I did this when I did an interview with Ron Gatt about his Facebook Leads Targeter program. I actually nicked his keyword stuffing and I made them into hashtags, and I think it was straight to number 2 within a few minutes after doing that. So it does work inside the YouTube videos as well in the descriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works better if you have your like some older grandfathered YouTube accounts aren't directly connected to a Google Plus profile yet. So it doesn't work the best with those, but as long as you have it connected to a Google Plus profile, it translates through.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Cynthia asking what type of pre-recorded videos can be used already uploaded to YouTube. I think we just covered that you can actually use pre-recorded videos within the Hangout system using an app, but it's not coming for as great as quality, Cynthia.
Yeah, I've actually had clients that have videos on their channel, and what I do is I just have a YouTube video downloader program. It downloads the videos from their channel. I run it through VidBlaster and re-upload it back to their channel as a Hangout, and over half the time they rank immediately better than the original YouTube videos.
Yeah. Richard saying, did you say you can use a free version of vMix would work fine for Hangouts? I think we covered that, and basically, yeah, it will work, but it's not going to be the greatest quality. But if you upgrade to the HD, then for $59 Australian dollars, then it's going to be much better quality. Richard. Robert Hanley saying Cam Twist works on a Mac with Sunflower. John Gallagher is asking about Hangout Daredevil system. John, we've got a Hangout system coming out in the next week. I don't really want to talk about other people's products, but it's not a bad product. I've just got something I believe is far more powerful coming out. Okay. He says he uploads 20 to 30 videos an hour. Does he change the description from video to video? And can you tell us more about that process?
Usually when I'm writing on my content, depending on where I'm getting my content, if it's scraping from the internet, if it's content already from pre-recorded videos on clients, if it's just generic content for lead generation, I just take that content. I usually will only spin the first paragraph and the last paragraph, plus if I do keyword stuffing or whatnot, I'll usually spin that. But the bulk of the middle, I actually usually just keep exactly the same, and then so it's not very much work spinning out one paragraph or rewriting one paragraph, like the initial whatever it is, 200 characters that fit into the description area of a YouTube video for the meta description. I usually just rewrite that, and it's you can rewrite one of those over 20 times pretty quickly in a few different variations in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, there's some great spinning tools out there. You don't really need to do a huge amount of work with, but if you just rewrite some stuff, there's 3 really good spinning tools out there. It just takes that work away. Okay, let's see. Bob asking again, how do you make hundreds of those a day, and do you do it all in one channel?
I have a few tools that do multiple videos. I have a tool called Video Sketcher that does more the PowerPoint style multiple videos, and then I just have a process that I have with some of my video makers that with Camtasia that we just drop in 100 different intro screens, 100 different outro screens, put in the main video, and then it's a simple process of batch editing it. It'll just spit out the new videos one after another, rendered and ready to go. And I don't remember what the second part of the question was.
He was asking, are you uploading them all to one channel?
Oh, depending on what it is, I don't usually like to keep all my eggs in a basket, especially these days when people are firing massive amounts of views at other channels just to get their videos taken down and whatnot. So I usually spread them across at least 2 or 3 different channels, just because you never know what might happen and what videos might cause your channel to get deleted.
Yeah, and you can always use a video spinner as well, which we're going to include in the Hangout Traffic Commando, which we need to do a little bit of work so we can do a little bit more with sort of first screen and final screen call to action stuff, but it can be pretty effective just using a simple video spinner as well. Okay, let me see.
And the other thing that the other thing is, every time you do a Hangout, it's never going to be the exact same amount of time, no matter how close you try to get it. So even if you were to, I've actually put the same video in 5 times, and it's always been slightly different lengths. So it's actually, they're all slightly different videos, and they don't get caught for duplication or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because it will always be a different size. That's a good point. Does the advanced editor in YouTube only clip the beginning and ends, or can you cut out some of the middle stuff?
No, it only does. It only trims off the start and the end.
All right. Okay.
If you use the main video editor, like not the just enhanced, yeah, you can do a lot more, but then it turns it into a regular video again and not a Hangout on air anymore.
Yeah, Daryl's saying it would be great if we could put a PDF together, sort of step by step. And Darren is saying, Rolly, you said to set up a circle in the Hangout to show as private. What do you have to do to show up live on your channel after you've done that?
Oh, after it's actually in your, like, after the Hangout on air has actually been turned into a YouTube video?
Yeah.
Where is my YouTube? You just normally go from. So if it was put through, it would actually show up as unlisted, just like that. And you just have to change it to public, and then it would be live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And John is saying, who let the dogs out? It's probably my background here. We've got a lot of noise in the background
And
here.
this is, Tony, this is what it looks like when you do the tags properly, the hashtags.
Ah, interesting.
In a YouTube video. So yeah, this is the way they'll show up. So this one didn't have any hashtags, didn't do it right.
Yeah.
But these ones show up as the hashtags.
That is interesting. That's what you were meaning the other day when you said to me to create something that will search for the hashtags. Okay, I understood that now. That's a good idea. Yeah.
You can actually search for those on different videos and it'll search through the whole, so when you search up here, it'll search through the whole Google Plus system.
Super, that's a really, really good tip. Okay, do you have a way to stop the lip sync time lag when you're interviewing someone on a live hangout? Okay, we're kind of talking about the pre-recorded ones, Richard. But I don't really think there's anything you can do about that when you're doing a live. It's just sometimes will happen.
No.
No,
sometimes it will be 3 seconds, sometimes it will be 60 seconds. It's just how much time is in.
You can even get it with GoToWebinar. You know, sometimes I'll be sitting listening to somebody speaking, and I've got a question that somebody's asking, and you're talking over, and there's a slight time delay. It just happens with live, unfortunately. And Stan saying that using virtual audio cable must surely create a time delay between the audio and the video being streamed into the Hangout. How significant is the time delay, and is the time delay with VidBlaster versus other softwares? So
no, actually there's absolutely no time delay, but like using it internally. It's no difference if you had a microphone plugged directly into your computer. Whenever the audio is happening on the video, it happens immediately the same time on the Hangout on Air.
Yeah. I'm just saying, this is really great stuff. Excuse me, I cranky throat this morning. We did a sort of marathon webinar last night. Mark, let's see the next one. Darryl saying, I checked out the single user home edition. Would that be sufficient, or does it have to be the upgraded version? I think we're talking about the vMix. I presume we're talking about the vMix.
Oh, I think he might be talking about the VidBlaster.
Oh, okay.
The home edition doesn't actually have the output that you need. The video output, so it doesn't actually work with this type of system. If you do the home, you'll end up getting a lot of video blur, and none of your videos will turn out properly. So you do need the Pro version.
Ted asking what the Facebook group is. If you just friend me on Facebook, it's my ID is Tony Hayes Thailand. Just find me and friend me there, then I'll add you into the Facebook group, Ted, and anybody else who wants to be added in there, because we made the group private and secret now, so it's hard to get people to go to just find that join button. Okay, and Holly was mentioning about a YouTube tutorial that she followed that you had done, Rolly, and somebody's asking for the URL for that particular video. Could either...
I can post that in the Facebook group.
Yeah, that might be a lot easier for people. And Dave is asking, how long is the trial when you take the trial of VidBlaster?
Forever. There's no expiration. It's just the fact that they give you the watermark in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty faint watermark, and like I say, you can override it with an overlay, like within the Hangout on Air system.
Yeah. My questions have jumped up to the top again. Just bear with me while I try to get back to this. And Susan saying, Rolly, you were about to show us with your YouTube plugin and Hangout. I think that's just before you sort of lost the volume again, Rolly. Do you want to cover that again quickly? About the YouTube app when you in the Hangout system to fill in the YouTube video via Hangouts, where you.
Oh, yeah. So. So in the Hangout system, if you go and add the YouTube app within the Hangout, basically what it will do is allow you to pull up a video URL, and it will play within the Hangout as if it was playing for both of you. Like I said, the quality is less than desirable, but it is a way to do it. The other way, I don't think I can do screen share well. It's not playing. The other way would be to...
We lost your sound, Rolly.
Oh, did I lose my sound? Is it back now? Hello?
Yeah, his sound goes low because he's right in the... I think because you go into a Hangout and you're in a webinar, I think that...
Did my sound come back?
Yeah, now it's back.
Oh.
It's because you go in the Hangout, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I had to do some jury rigging with my microphone since it didn't work earlier, so I'm having to pipe it through a secondary internal video cable. So that could be the problem.
Okay, let's see a bit more questions coming in. Are you doing much backlinking to rank, or does optimizing it from the start usually rank depending on the keyword competition? I think what Darryl means is just doing titles and descriptions, tags and hashtags and stuff, or are you doing some backlinking as well? We kind of covered that a little bit last week, and you had a slightly different approach from Holly, a little bit more conservative, I would think. Do you want to talk about that for a few minutes, please, Rolly, what you're doing for your backlinking?
Sure. Well, within just YouTube, the Hangout itself, doing the hashtags, doing regular video SEO, usually can get you to the top 4 or 5 at least, if not top 1 for within YouTube. And then on Google, for the most part, as long as it's a low to medium competition, usually hitting page 2 right off the bat, sometimes page 3 at worst. And then from there, I do it slightly differently than Holly. I usually throw for 3 or 4 days anywhere between 10 to 20 higher quality, higher page authority PR links at it, with a very not quite as a diverse anchor text. So if I'm shooting 20 links a day at it, I might do about 6 to 7 different anchor texts between those 4 or 5 days, just to see what will happen. Usually we'll end up on the first page, if not the top of the first page, doing it that way. If it's a bit of a harder keyword, more national-based keyword, or something that's a little bit more generic, so you got a little bit more competition to weed through, then I'll, at about the 5th day, I'll start firing the backlinks through GSA in the usually anywhere between 100 to 1,000 a day. And then I usually do that until I see movement. Once I see movement and it gets the first or second spot, I usually run it for another 3 or 4 days after that, and then drop it back down to a dribble of between 100 or so links a day after that, and then keep paring it down till it's around 10 to 20 links a day for the next month, and then I usually drop off completely after that. And that's been able to rank me for local lead gen, keywords, affiliate marketing keywords, regular offline business keywords, pretty much mostly anything I wanted. There's every now and then you get into a niche that is stubborn with videos in general, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and that's where you want to. That's where I like to have 10, 20, 30, or 40 videos running. So just because one might not rank, that doesn't mean the other 39 don't have a good chance. So that's pretty much, in general, the way I would do it.
Yeah, you mentioned that you're doing the first part of what you were saying is you do some high quality links at first. What sort of high quality links are we talking about?
Usually it's just regular contextual, either goes back to regular SEO from, a few years back, regular articles, blogs, directories, wikis, anything that you can get a link into on a page that's,
Yeah, within the
looked at
content.
in Google's eyes. Yeah, within the content, and that's high enough quality, like private blog network type stuff, Web 2.0s. Anything that's easy to get a link on. I don't want to, I got, like I said last time we talked, I got a few scripts that just go out there, and I use GSA actually to find these good places where links are easy to get, and then I just keep scraping for higher quality targets and keep putting links on those targets until that target is exhausted, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. Robert, can I bring you in here? You had posted into the Facebook group a big list of edu sites, .edu sites.
.edu, .gov, right?
Yeah.
And wikis.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about those for a few minutes, and we'll give Rolly a break for a couple of minutes? Those sites that you've got, that you posted in there, most of them were places where you can actually create a blog yourself.
Right, you can create your own blog, and you can post to it every day if you want, as long as you follow their rules and you don't spam it, then they'll let you keep it. So they work really well. Even if they don't have any page rank, they will work well. .edus and wikis and .govs without page rank are worth 100 ordinary backlinks. And you add page rank to it, and you got some power. So just treat them right. Work with them with respect, which means put readable content within them, and just don't post 1,000 links in a day. Don't post too many posts. One, maybe 3 times a week for each one. You'll be fine, and they'll give you a lot of power.
Thanks, Robert.
Some of those are forums, and some of those...
Yeah, carry on, Robert, carry on.
Some of those are forums where you are interacting with others, and some of them are like blogs, and some of them you can just leave a backlink, but they work really well.
Super. Holly, I noticed, remember I told you last week that I had reverse engineered your Miami.
Yeah.
I think Dana had mentioned that you had some edu links as well. I think it was in one of the Facebook posts. I don't recall actually seeing them when I was doing the reverse engineering with the Hrefs. Do you have some edu blogs built into your script?
If they're in my backlinking list, then yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know offhand. I put it in GSA. If GSA can post to it, then yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's coming from GSA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. And probably you can do it with scrapebox and commenting and stuff like that as well to get some links there. Okay.
Yeah.
Rolly, let's talk about some of the ways that you monetize Hangouts, and if I noticed you were doing something there for an affiliate offer, free trial of a binary tool. Are you doing mainly affiliate stuff? Are you doing a lot of local marketing stuff, or what exactly are you doing? How do you approach it? How do you choose a niche or find a client or whatever it is?
The majority of the stuff I do is pretty much actually split between lead generation, local client stuff, and then I have maybe a 20% affiliate just to keep me interested in testing, because I find affiliate work easy to test on because there's a lot more competition, and you really got to work sometimes to get things to pan out. But the majority of the stuff that I like, if I was actually going to pick one of the three, it'd be lead generation.
Yeah, we've got another problem with the
Sounds
audio
like you're
again.
gone, Rolly. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzzing going on in the background. And it's gone a little bit quieter, but I think we may have lost Rolly again. Okay, that's unfortunate. We've got some audio problems today. Okay, Holly, let me bring you in here when we're talking about the monetization strategies again. There's a lot of people who had actually not picked up on what was in the first part of the interview that we did. Do you mind to talk a little bit again about your monetization strategies for the lead generation and your pricing structure, how you get the prices? I know that we had posted, I saw a post that you had done with the sort of rates to charge for per lead. Do you mind to talk about that for a few minutes while we try to get rolling?
Yeah. For the lead gen stuff, I look at Home Advisor. They have a PDF that they put out, I think in 2012, 2013, and maybe 2014. So that's kind of how I pick niches too, as I go and look at that PDF. It tells me how much they pay per lead, and remember that's a shared lead. It's not a just you get the call lead. So I mean, you can double it, or sometimes it's easier to call the companies too and say, hey, are you buying leads? What's your basic lead cost, if you don't really know. And then I do my affiliate stuff, and I like to try to take over the guy's product and then offer him the channel, or if I'm an affiliate, then I'll get the income from the affiliate. And you can do that with like ClickBank or Commission Junction. I like doing it with Amazon during there are certain times of the year, like at Christmas, when students go back to college. I would target textbook type campaigns, because then people are going to be looking at buying books that are cheap. If there's I don't do so much during the summer. I don't know if people are traveling or whatever, but I don't do a lot of that during the summer. I think that was all the areas.
Okay, let me see if we can go back to some of the questions. I'll see if we've got any questions that would be suitable for you to answer as well, because you're doing similar stuff to what Rolly is doing. Dave is asking Holly, how do you do so many videos a day with all these steps? If we want to cover that one again.
Yeah, I hired, I have 4 kids, and they all have cell phones, and so I was looking at hiring VAs, and I kind of lost my patience with it, with Odesk, and it's not that it's hard to find a good VA. I am very much perfectionist, and I mean, if you have the patience for it and you want to go through some of the outsourcing programs that they have, that's fine. But I decided that I needed to have more control over it, so I asked my kids to have a few of their friends come over, and they have cell phones and they like shopping. So I trained a couple of the high school kids. They work in my basement. I have one girl who's 21, and so she works from 8:15 to 12:15. I go pick her up, and she works, and then I take her home at my regular lunch hour, and then I pay, all of them. I only pay $5 an hour because it's copy and pasting or hitting the start broadcast button. And they get paid cash, so it's not like they don't have to claim it. I mean, I'm out by not claiming it, but it's only $5 an hour, so to me it's a better deal by having them work out of my house. They're downstairs, or they're in a bedroom, or in my kitchen. So I mean, if they need to ask me a question, then I'm right here, and I have much more control over what's going on in my house then, and what's going on with the campaigns. Like I have one guy who's going to start a payday loan campaign, and I have one person who is on a totally different lead gen niche, and you know, I could have the guy do 300 paydays a day, and the other guy do, like, if I was doing tree removal, I could have him do 300 a day. I could have the girl do, she does doing maybe like 250 a day. So I mean, it's not that bad if you have some high school kids who will work for $5 because they have cell phones and they need to pay for their cell phones, and they like shopping.
Yeah, it's a good way to keep the control over it. I've got one question I want to take myself. Ron Metler saying, he's talking to me specifically, saying this morning with Ray the Video Guy, you discouraged mass backlink to YouTube videos, but now you hang out with Holly a few days ago, and she said that this is still it's still good to blast links to her videos. Holly, can you talk about this? Well, Ron, let me just take that first. I didn't discourage any mass backlinking. It was a discussion. Ray was talking about his course, and you know, I did kind of want to butt in, and I did hint very, very strongly several times throughout that webinar last night to go and watch Holly's video. Okay, now the thing is, you've got to test stuff for yourself, okay, and see what is working. And what Holly is doing is you know, it shocked everybody when we did that first interview, and it just carried on last week. It was a marathon webinar last week. But yeah, let's talk about it a little bit, Holly, about doing the mass backlinking, what your experience is, because this will shock a lot of people, because she is driving hundreds of thousands of links. And do you want to talk about that linking structure, what you're doing there, Holly?
Yeah, I hope my client's not going to be aggravated. I'll just throw this one out there. But so, I mean, everyone knows I did the AC Repair Miami. It took 3 weeks to rank well over 300 terms for one video. So what I did, basically, I did it because everyone said that I shouldn't do it. And, you know, I mean, if you're doing it as a test, who cares if you lose in it? So what I did was I made 15 projects in, no, about like 20 projects in GSA, and I have I have a billion or more places, probably more than that, of places to post on GSA. So I split the list up for each project, and each project had roughly roughly like 150 to 200 different keyword variations of AC repair and Miami, Florida in it. And then I picked my modules that I wanted, and I hit start. And I let it run. I have I kind of have it down to a science of how many I need a day, and how many verified, and how many I look at index a day to know if it's going to pop in, or or how many I put there to see if it pops in. And so once it was at page 2, you know, it was like a week, probably or less, that it came into page 2. And then once it got to like number 8, then I turned off GSA for 3-4 days, and because sometimes it becomes unstable because you have so many links coming in. So then I turned it off for a couple days and made sure it didn't bounce down, and it didn't bounce up. It pretty much stayed stable between 8, 9, and 10, and then I turned it back on, and as soon as I turned it back on, it was within hours it was coming up to number 4. And then I ran it and just kept running it. And then after 2 weeks, you know, it's ranking for a ridiculous amount of terms. And it's just that one video. I don't have like 10 videos I have with all these different terms. For this one in particular, I have one video for like 400 terms, and it ranks for nationwide terms too. So it's really about trying it before you knock it, because if someone who's a guru is going to tell me not to do it, I'm not probably going to believe them, because they're going to, it's like if Rolly said not to do something, I know he's a guru, so I probably would do it. I don't want to say he's a guru, but he knows what he's doing. I would probably do it just to see if he's trying to throw me off on it. So that's why I did it, because I wanted to see if they're trying to throw me off on it. It's like Cuts has been saying how long, don't use PBN networks. Well, he says that because you're not supposed to use them, because you get a Google penalty. But really, do you get a Google penalty? You don't get a Google penalty. As long as you understand how it works and you go and do the testing and be like, oh, you can't do 80% of one anchor text, it's not going to work. So you kind of have to like test and see what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. And if you tell me it's not going to work, then I'm going to try it first, because chances are you're telling me it's not going to work because you obviously know that I can game the system that way.
Okay, Holly, I think what the question in a lot of people's minds who didn't watch, we've got a lot of new people in, probably from the webinar I did last night with Ray the video guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think what the question they will have is, how do you manage to rank one video for so many terms? And basically, what you're doing there is just the variations of the anchor text, and that's what's driving the rankings for so many terms.
Yeah, I had 1,000 terms, and as many like 24-hour emergency air conditioning repair, AC repair, Miami, Florida, Miami. I mean, I put Miami, Florida in front. I mean, I put as many different variations in it that I could possibly put, and you need to, because I was dropping on each project, had 500,000 dropping every day, and I had 20 projects. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of links. But if you figure only 10% are actually a verified link and a indexable link, it's not as many as, she dropped 500,000. I did, but how many are actually going to be verified and indexed over that? The video itself shows maybe 15,000 indexed. So I want to hit every single possible place to drop a link that I can.
Yeah.
And if I had if I did an easier niche, like let's say handyman in Milwaukee, or not Milwaukee, let's say handyman in Janesville where I live, you would only have to put up a few of PBNs. I wouldn't go crazy like that. But on certain niches, you have to.
Yeah. Robert, you there? Could you just jump in for a couple of minutes?
Yes, Tony, I'm here. I'm listening in amazement. Yeah. I'm astounded.
Yeah. Do you mind to take a few questions just for a few minutes? Something has just popped up that I need to take care of here. If you could just monitor the questions. It might be easier to start from the bottom up so we're not repeating the same questions again. If you could do that just for a few minutes, and I'll be back.
Okay, Tony.
Thank you very much. Hold on.
Holly, are you using a CAPTCHA service? Are you paying for CAPTCHAs?
Yeah, I use the GSA Capture Breaker, and I use Spamvilla. It's I think I have 100 threads. It's $50 a month package, and by those two together, I've saved $4,000 a month on CAPTCHA. I don't use CAPTCHA. I mean, like reCAPTCHA, Death by CAPTCHA, whatever it's called.
Spamvilla, you said $50 a month. Is that what it is for that, or both of them combined?
Yeah. Spamvilla is $50 a month, and Capture Breaker, I want to say it's $147.
Damn, you are a star, Holly. We got a lot of people talking about you. Somebody here says you're the hammer. Only the hammer.
Yeah. I have some really big projects coming up I'm excited about. We're doing... I'm not a person to be scared and show you my niches, because I am a very confident person that you wouldn't knock me out. My partners would be very upset with me, but yeah, I mean, I have people doing, there's one niche we're going to do. Every city in the U.S. is what we're targeting. Well, really, we want to do it everywhere, but in this specific one, yeah, we have already, I think, 4,000 Hangouts up, and we actually started getting calls today, so it's exciting.
Astounding, Holly. You are on the cutting edge, and you can take anybody, and we know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
And everybody here, I think, knows that. I think they realize that. Somebody is asking what is GSA?
If you Google search engine, it's actually called Search Engine Ranker, but we call it GSA.
Can you put a link in the bar?
Yeah, I gotta go find it.
And if you remember, the link is mentioned in the download that Holly gave us last week, and you'll be able to find that.
GSA search engine. It's 89. If you go to my resources page, or my resources file that I made, it's in there. I put it in the chat box.
Everybody, what you're listening to here is The Cutting Edge. And if you want to rank #1, you want to take over Google, listen to Holly. She can do anything she wants. There is nothing can be kept from her. So just listen and learn, and you'll find out what you need to do to take over your niche.
Okay, I'm back now. I caught the end part of that, Robert, there, where you were saying about what the kind of results that Holly's getting. One of the things that came up in the webinar chat box last night was somebody had seen about a post, probably it was me distributing it around Facebook, about selling the YouTube channel for $30,000. Do you want to just talk about that very briefly, Holly, and tell them exactly what happened, how you managed to get that affiliate network to pay you $30,000 for that YouTube channel?
Yeah, there was a guy who, his niche, it wasn't like overly competitive at all. I just happened to come across it, and what I did was become his affiliate, and then I made 165 hangouts, and each hangout had 2 keywords. Actually, each keyword had 3 keywords. It's not 2. And so after that, I streamed through, it was roughly 6 or 7 different hangout videos that had the same content. I just changed a different picture. And then I put it in GSA for maybe 2-3 weeks. After the first week, it was completely demolished his websites. He had about 25 websites, and he was in Mexico at the time, and it took his entire network totally off for, it was like buried it to page like 5, 10, I don't know. It was buried pretty bad. And he came back from Mexico, and I was like, hey, how's your rankings? And was Rolly back?
Something's going on with Rolly, sounds like.
Yeah, I think Rolly's making a grand entrance.
He was. And then he was like, holy shit, what is this? And I was like, well, there were videos that I was ranking for, and it was done as a test, and I'm not really interested in this niche at all, so you want to buy the channel for like 10-15,000. And he's like, no, you're just, had some foul terms for me because I took him off the page, and I was like, I'm your affiliate, so you can either pay me as an affiliate, and you're going to pay me a lot because I own some 300-400 terms, or you're going to buy the channel from me, or you're not going to have a business because I'll redirect the traffic. And he had some choice words for me, and we ended the call, and then he came back 48 hours later and was like, his temper calmed down, and he was like, yeah, I'll buy it for like 15, and I was like, wow, the price doubled now because he had some choice words for me. And so I sold it for 30,000. He wire transferred it, and I refused to pay the wire transfer fee, and I sent it to him. I mean, if people are concerned that they're gonna, you know, he could have reported me. I'm not saying he couldn't have, but if he did, I would have came on a lot stronger than I did, and I wouldn't have, you know, even offered to him at that point. I mean, he would have had to pay me as to be affiliate, and probably pay me more than 30,000 in the whole year. But you know, he has 3 other products. I'm working on doing it the same thing to the other 3 products because I know that he can't rank it. I mean, if you can't rank your own shit, that's not my problem. So it was a fun experiment.
I still giggle every time I hear you talking about it. It's actually a very, very
The
good
ruthless.
approach. Yeah, it is kind of ruthless, but at the same time, if you know he didn't take the offer the first time, what was he thinking to do about it? He should have just taken the offer, which would have saved him a lot of money anyway. Even if Holly kept the links going to his product and she was getting affiliate commission. So, you know. Anyway, it's any sign of Raleigh coming back, or he's? I think they've permanently
back.
lost him. I think what we
Willie's
need.
back.
He's
I
back.
heard him.
Okay.
I think I'm back.
Oh, great! Super. Okay, so we kind of filled in as best as we could while you were away there.
Oh
And
no, Holly fills in quite well for that type of stuff.
yeah.
She has more than enough to say.
Okay, let's see. Let's go back up to the top again with the questions and see what we can. Let's see. Susan asking what secret group. We have a Facebook group, Susan. I changed the status the other day from closed to secret because we were getting a lot of people trying to join who didn't have any any profile images and stuff like that, and it was just getting time consuming, so I got rid of it. Okay. Is Holly paying for captures for those hundreds of thousands of links that she submits? Are you using the GSA capture breaker, Holly?
Yeah, Capture Breaker and Spamvilla.
Okay. Ken Roberts asking about what about getting views for the Hangouts? You find that's important or not?
I don't, yeah, I don't mess with that because the backlinks are what ranks it. It's not about the views. For me, it's not.
Yeah, views only matter if you're actually worrying about ranking in YouTube.
Yeah. Holly, have you tried to run multi-tier link campaign in GSA? It seems to work pretty well even with regular YouTube videos. Question from Brian Peterson.
What's the question?
Using the multi-tier link campaign in GSA.
Oh, the tier link. Not for YouTube. For if I'm trying to bring in a money site, I'm a lot more careful, and I use a very tiered template and a lot of filters. Otherwise, I'll kill the website.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at killing websites, so I
Okay. Ken Roberts asking, do you use the same channel for all 4,000 Hangouts?
no, I put each. I try to put each niche or each state on a different channel. Is what.
Yeah.
I have like 3,000 YouTube channels at this point, so I mean, I try to use as much as I can.
Oh, okay. And Raleigh, what? I guess the same question applies for you as well. How are you sort of structuring the channels and what videos go where?
For me, it's all about an exit strategy for most of this stuff. It's similar to what Holly was talking about, selling a channel for $30,000. There's been many times that I've not been doing lead generation or client stuff or affiliate stuff, and somebody's come and asked if they can lease the videos or rent the videos, and I'll just sell them the channel. And so parting out the channel is as much as possible in either the niches or the locations or even on some keyword basis. It allows you for both an exit strategy and for diversification, so that you don't have to worry about getting hit, because in some of the niches, you know, you have people wanting to throw thousands or hundreds of thousands of views at your video and to take your channel down. And if you have only one channel, you're then going to be out however much money that channel's making you in a month.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can guess. Jim Reynolds saying, not scared. Let's go, Holly. Daryl asking, is there some webinars that you've done, Holly, that we can listen to? Join the Facebook group, Daryl. Join my Facebook group. You can access 2 previous webinars we did with Holly. We did a part 1 and a part 2, and this is a part 2 of the Raleigh one. But, you know, I'm really thinking, Raleigh, we need to try and sort of redo maybe another interview in the Hangout or something, because the first time I had the volume, the audio problems, and then the second time you had them. But what we can do the next time is get the questions sent in ahead of time and maybe just cover it in about 20 to 30 minutes and try and get a clear, sort of clearer outline of the stuff that we've covered in those first 2 that we had you
Or I
in.
could not be cheap and buy a new microphone.
Richard, how many proxies are you using in GSA? How do you keep from burning out your private proxies in GSA?
Is that at me?
I'm guessing, yeah.
I have 100 private proxies from I think it's solidvps.com or solidsevps.com or something like that. I have 100 of them. When you do my setup, you don't scrape with GSA. You scrape with GScraper, so you don't have to worry about burning out your proxies, because my proxies are just posting. I don't have proxies during verification, and I don't do a PR check because I don't care what the PR is. So it's just for submissions. You're more worried about the email going blacklisted than the proxies going dead, because it's just not. The proxies aren't going to go dead. The email is going to get blacklisted before anything else happens.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Holly, is there anything you can't rank for?
I doubt it. 2 years ago, I ranked for credit repair and some pretty nasty keywords, and I was a CPA offer, and I was doing like $25,000 a week. It was crazy money, and it was for 6 months, and the guy, the CPA company, had words with me because I was ranking over their websites, and you know, I mean, we ended up having, you know, to agree on an amount to have me stop, basically.
You're telling me you can rank for anything then?
Yeah, if I want to. I mean, a lot of times I rank for stuff that I need to have to be challenged. And if for me, for someone to say, can you come and rank for tree removal for this local city, is not a challenge to me. So I like to be challenged, and I'd rather take a heavier keyword. I mean, my lead gen stuff is not challenging, but it's steady income, so that's why I like to do that. But then on the offside, if I find something that of someone who, you know, is being dirty or negative SEO, then I'm just going to come in behind them, and even if I have no interest in it, like I'm doing that right now in a SEO site in Utah because the guy had words with me, and I have no interest in getting clients in Utah, but I'm coming up underneath him just to prove a point that he's not going to screw with me. So I like to be challenged. I don't like to be screwed with. There's 2 different things.
I have a challenge for you then.
Yeah.
You don't have to rank number 1. All you have to do is rank number 10. The bottom.
Okay, you're going to say like IRA Gold or something, aren't you?
No, if you can rank for the term Google.
Dude, you can't rank for the term. Oh, I should try though. That would be fun. You know, for my GSA, for my cleaning my list, I put Google.com in there, so I help them rank. But you know, I send millions to them every day. But yeah, that's not even funny.
Pretty much everybody cleans their list with Google.com, it seems.
Right. That's not funny. That's not even a challenge. Like, no.
Yeah.
Mark's still saying he doesn't see the link for GSA. Mark, if you do a search on Google, do GSA discount code, discount coupon, I think it was, you will find in the first page just 2 or 3 places that will get you a 10% discount, and you can get it for about $89 or something like that. And that's probably the easiest way to find the link for GSA. and you can get it there. And they've got some other tools as well, like the scraper and the capture breaker and stuff like that, which you can add to cart as well. Okay, and let's see what is next. Holly, have you ever used Pixfly? I don't know what Pixfly is.
Pixfly.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, okay.
Is that like a joke?
I no idea. It must be a...
Really? Have you heard of it?
I have no idea what that is.
It must be a tool or something, a service or something like that. I've got no idea what that is. How do you go about creating multiple YouTube channels under the same Google account or separate ones? I think we covered last week, Holly, that you buy the PVA accounts from you put a link in the resources PDF, which is in the Facebook group, guys. So just friend me on Facebook if you can't find it, and I will add you to the group. But please tell me that you want to be added to the group. And we got a file section in there which you can get all of these resources that we're talking about. There will be links there. So buying the PVA accounts from, you're buying Google accounts, you're not buying YouTube accounts. I think we need to make that clear first of all, and then you're building the channels up from there.
Yeah, I buy PVA Gmails, and then the thing with if you're buying PVA YouTube accounts, don't do it because you're on a different IP, so you have to PVA it again anyway, so there's no point to buy a PVA YouTube, so I buy the Gmail, and I get my number through Twilo, so that's the simplest possible way to do it.
And Rolly, what do you do?
Each YouTube account is a different channel.
Pretty much the exact same. Either buy just generic Google accounts, verify them, or buy verified ones, and then go through the process of verifying the YouTube account so you can do Hangouts. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're coming towards the end of the questions. I don't know how long we've been going for. Daryl asking, are you using a video spinner to make all those different videos? Or the teens do it for you, the kids do it for you?
I use one video, and I make it generic as possible. Like I say, welcome to AC Repair of Hollywood, Florida. If you need assistance or you need air conditioning technician, to give us a call below. And then in the description and in the title I put the phone number. So I use one video for each location when I do it in mass like that.
Yeah. Rolly, you got the same approach, or?
Depending on the niche, if it's lead gen, I use one video. If it's affiliate marketing or stuff like, basically affiliate marketing, I use a video sketcher, which is a video spinner that you can drop in images or audio and video in, and it will spin out 100 different versions.
Yeah. Daryl asking, does anyone in the group have a specific recommendation on video spinners? Daryl, I've got a video spinner which will be in the Hangout Traffic Commander when it comes out, but I might actually use, every time we do a sort of big launch, we usually give away a free software. I think I will put the video spinners as a free pre-launch gift. We usually do a pre-launch gift when we have a launch coming up. So I will put the video spinner in there as a pre-launch gift so that everybody can spin videos. It's quite simple to use as well. Susan asking when it's coming out. Susan, it's $1 million question. I've been saying in a few days for the last 3 weeks. I would say that we should have version 1 ready by I don't even want to say anymore, because every time my coder says yeah, it'll be ready in a few days, it just isn't. There's always more work to be done. We're definitely within 2 weeks, but I'm hoping much sooner. Okay. Let's see. Jim Reynolds asking, does the category matter, or does Hangout make it into entertainment automatically?
When you do a Hangout in there, it always goes into entertainment.
Right. Okay. And Holly has numerous channels. Does she use her own name or create with fake names? There's
They're
only
all
so many,
fake names.
yeah, there's only so many times you can use, use your own name. Okay. When you sell the channel, does the Gmail address go with it? Mark is asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Gmail, the recovery email, everything goes with it.
Yeah, and next question. Alan Thorpe asking, where can we find some GSA best practices from Holly? Holly hasn't actually got any course out. This is all 100% free content from both Holly and Rolly. There is no sales pitch here, but I do believe that Holly is seriously considering to do a product, and it will be a mid-ticket product, and it deserves to be as well. And I really would hope that Rolly would consider to do a product as well, because I'd love to see both of them. But there is no videos that Holly has done with GSA, but she's welcome to jump on a webinar and maybe do one for GSA or rank quiz or whatever, and I would happily host that for you, Holly, if you ever want to do that.
Okay. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Like making competition for yourself's not always a good thing, but at the same time, it only will last for so long, like Robert told me,
Yeah.
Plus, there's a million different ways to use GSA.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do one tutorial on how to use GSA, just because the way Holly uses it is differently than the way I use it. Even though we put in a fair few links, if we were to align our campaigns, they would look probably completely different.
Okay, Mark's still asking, what is GScraper? I think it's something similar to Scrapebox. I haven't actually used that one myself.
Yeah, it scrapes for like football footprint that you want to post to, and you put your keywords in. You can put your proxies in, and then it scrapes for it. And it also posts for trackbacks, and you also can train it to post if you understand how the system works.
Yeah, and Patrick is asking what works best for Holly and Rolly to sell the leads. I guess he means a specific approach. I think you're just getting the rankings and then offering the vendor or someone to purchase the YouTube channel from you.
Yeah. I like to... Go ahead, Rolly.
Oh.
No, go ahead, Rolly.
Once you have phone calls coming in, it's pretty easy to just say, here, you want to make more money. I have people that want to buy the stuff that you're selling, or lots of times I actually call the people up beforehand. But one thing that I slightly do differently is I go for pretty high-end, expensive niches, like one of the ones that I just recently got into was building movers and foundation repair, where it's in the thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes, depending on what they're moving or what type of foundation they're doing. So people get into lead gen and they charge $25, $35 a lead for the foundation repair. I think I'm charging $1,500 a lead for the one city. So you don't need 400 or 500 phone calls a month to get it to work. You only need 6 or 7 phone calls, and you're making a fairly decent amount of money from one lead generation campaign. And for the most part, these types of businesses, foundation repair businesses, aren't regularly on the internet. They're a bit of an older school marketing technique, a lot of word of mouth, so a lot of the leads are free to grab and nobody's out there trying to get them. So it's quite an easy play to say, here, do you want these people that want their Costco foundations repaired or something like that?
Yeah. Holly, do you want to add anything to that?
I like to call the people who I bump off if they want the leads, because I take a picture of when I start. So on my pending clients, and I can say, hey, look, it's only took me 3 weeks and I'm number 1, or I call the first few people who I bump off.
Yeah, and Kenny Salter saying, did Holly say she only uses proxies for posting but does not use them when scraping with GScraper? I think that's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And Daryl saying blackhatworld.com have a thread. I don't know if that's a thread with your information in it, Holly. Is that what he's talking
Yeah,
about?
it is. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can put a link in there later, or I'll stick a link in the Facebook group. And somebody saying, what's the Facebook group? It's I think it's groups/Anthony Hayes. But if you can't find it because it's a secret group now, then just friend me on Facebook, and Facebook ID is Anthony Hayes Thailand. Just friend me there and tell me you want to be added to the group, and I will add you into the group, and you can get access to all of those resources. Okay, Jim saying rank for the term when pigs fly. Mark saying pigs fly is a video player. Okay, I don't know about that. What's the link to the Facebook group? Again, it's Anthony Hayes groups /Anthony Hayes groups /Anthony Hayes. Okay. And Twilio will accept text messages. I don't know if that's a statement or a question mark, but
I haven't gotten it too. It annoys me because I have to just put a code in, and I just don't understand it.
And David Marvin, I have a friend that creates a PC specific for fast vid work. Like I don't understand that, David. It's kind of broken up in a grammatical sense. And Susan, you've asked about 5 times when the Hangout software comes out. I've answered that. We don't really know. I think within the next 2 weeks. Okay. We've had some delays because we want to get it right. We want to make it really, really good as best as it can be. Okay. Let me see what else. There's some other questions just coming in. Jim, the social commando in HQ is the one that is closing tonight. It's going to be going into the commando HQ suite and in the Hangout suite, Jim. We're adding more to it. Once it's completed to what we would call the X version, then we can just copy all of the code into both of those suites, and that's why it's not in there. It was not meant to be done that way. It was supposed to be done from the HQ suite first, but I was off sick for about 4 weeks, and when I come back, it was just the way it was done. So we're kind of working backwards, and I apologize to all Commando HQ members, but it was really out of my hands. I can't do anything about it. We just have to make the best of what we have right now, and what we need to do is make it the complete updated version before we can add it into those other software suites. Were Holly's YouTube channels created using different IP addresses? For example, using Hide My Ass, and I think we covered that last week, and the answer was no.
Yeah, I use just my regular home IP address. I always do.
What is my Facebook name? Anthony Hayes Thailand, Daryl. You can get into the Facebook group via PMing me there. What do you use Video Sketcher for, Tony? I don't use it at all. I think, was it Rolly you mentioned you use it, or was it Holly who mentioned Video Sketcher?
I mentioned that.
Yeah.
For generic PowerPoint style, quick spun 100 versions, I use it.
And Ken is asking, good source for high-ticket lead gen ideas. Homestead was the one that was given out in the Facebook group that Holly had posted, but the important thing there was that the lead generation prices that they have on there is for when they are sharing the leads, not for exclusive leads. So you can double your prices, as Holly had mentioned before. Is there any other resources you guys use? I noticed on the Homestead it was mainly for USA kind of lead gen. Is there anything for international?
Not that I've known of.
Yeah, because I was looking to get an idea for lead gen for sort of property developers. I mean, here in Thailand, there's a lot of new build condo projects and housing projects going on, and it's sort of there's pre-selling before they've even built them. But I couldn't find anything on Homestead that would come anywhere near that kind of business or niche.
There is a place. Yeah. I'm gonna get in trouble if I name this place.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later about the place, Tony. I don't on the webinar.
Okay, no
it's
problem.
One of those places where you don't let go.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Robert's saying it
One of
is in the right group. Yes, you are, Robert. Rolly, sorry, interrupted you. Carry on.
one of the best places actually I find for more high-priced ticket items is actually just driving around in an industrial park. Just driving by all the businesses, it's sort of where all those you know, small back industrial park businesses that do odd weird jobs for other industries, other businesses, and you'll be. I've driven through a few industrial parks and written down, you know, 2-3 dozen businesses that I've never even thought of, never even heard of, and don't even know what they do. Get on the internet, and I found 7 or 8 new lead generation ideas right there. I call them directly up, find out what they do, find out how much they charge, what their business is all about, and lots of times right there and then I'll ask them if they want me to try to find leads on the internet. You go from there, and it's one of the easier ways to do it, I found.
Rolly, could you give us an example, maybe one of those, or one of that was kind of obscure, that was sort of paying good money for leads? Just one example.
Oh, there was one that actually I just saw the other day. It was an alternative to sandblasting. They used dry ice as sandblasting. To sandblast stuff that's got high finish qualities to it for industrial, like industrial aluminum and different things like that for art galleries and things. And they charge a mint to sandblast that stuff to make sure that after there's been a fire, or after there's been big dust storms and rust or things have caked on, and they charged anywhere in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to do one building. So that was an odd one that I was driving by. I didn't understand what the name was about on their business sign, so I just looked them up and talked to that guy, and we're looking at doing business here in the next few weeks. And that's something that you wouldn't find on Home Advisor or lead generation forums or anything like that. It just takes a little bit of driving around and finding stuff like that. And for that type of niche, it's almost guaranteed that you're not going to get either any competition on the internet, or you're not going to get any other lead generation people looking at you. Then you just have to take over your city and then see if there's any other competitors in other cities that want your services too, and go after them.
And Robert just responded to that, says, shit, that's my niche, dry ice sandblasting, how did he know? And somebody's saying, I'm confused, why don't you have to change IP addresses when you set up multiple YouTube channels?
YouTube.
I don't. Rolly, do you? I mean,
the only thing I do is I run, if on the very first time I set up a new channel, I run my Firefox browser through CCleaner, and that's it, just to get rid of extra cookies and whatnot, just to keep it clean. And then any other time that I log into it, I don't care after that. It's just usually the very first time that I go through the initial account creation process. So YouTube doesn't care. Google might care, because one of the funny things is if you're in Google Plus trying to verify a Google Plus account, and you are, like I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and if you're typing in a phone number for Denver, it won't let you do it, but it will let you do it in YouTube.
mm-hmm.
So YouTube doesn't even care where your phone number is coming from.
And Jeff saying he uses VoIP for phone numbers to verify. Jim Reynolds saying Twilio was a question Callfire does. I'm sorry, Jim, I've lost the previous one that you mentioned there. I don't know what he's meaning there. Does that make any sense to anybody? Callfire?
I know Callfire does SMS a little easier. That's the only thing I know.
Jim is saying Callfire takes text for Gmail. Thanks for clarifying that, Jim. Okay, guys, I think we've come to the end of all of the questions. If anybody wants to ask any more questions before we finish up, now is the time. Robert, do you want to say anything?
No, I think that we've pretty much covered everything, and I'll leave it open for questions.
And Dale Hinton saying, Rolly, glad to hear you're a Canadian. He's from Edmonton. Guys, what I want you to take away from today is that, you know, we did a webinar last night and it was all about some case studies that Ray had done. This is just exposing you to some different ways to think about doing SEO, about getting rankings, about monetizing, about finding clients, about using Hangouts. You know, there's a lot of people who will do things in a lot of different ways, and I think a lot of us for too long listen to what Google has been saying we should and should not do. What I really love about Holly and Rolly is they've just taken the approach of test and see, and they've come up with some spectacular information. And, you know, every time I hear it, it still shocks me to the core. But, you know, they're doing it every day. It's working for them. And, you know, there are other people will tell you different things, and other people will do case studies doing different things. The best thing to do is go and test stuff for yourself, okay? You've been exposed today and over the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks to some things that really, really did shock a lot of us initially. But, you know, a lot of it makes sense. I mean, ranking one video for multiple times, it's just a variation of anchor text. Sure, you need to do a lot of links, and the volume of links that Holly's mentioning sounds a lot, but as she mentioned as well, you know, only about 10% will get indexed. So you can cut that down by about 10% for what Google will actually pick up on anyway. So that's why it's such a high volume. But important as well as what Holly and Rolly have said is that, you know, once they've got the rankings, they don't switch it off altogether, all these backlinks. They just tone it down to a percentage, to a much, much lower percentage. They never, ever turn it off. And they're doing that using the tools like GSA and Squarespace and tools like that. Okay, guys, you got anything you want to say before we finish up? Robert, you got anything you want to add?
Well, Rolly was talking about Video Sketcher. I'm one of only 3 affiliates that has a link for that. I put it in the chat box, so if anybody wants to check it out, there it is.
Good for you. Okay, Rolly, thank you very, very much. I would like to try and get you maybe in another 20 to 30 minute hangout where we can just have pre-written questions, because we kind of didn't get the best because of the audio in the first one, and we had some audio problems this time as well. If you'd be willing to do that, I'd really, really appreciate it, and maybe we could set that up over the next week or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Holly, as always, really great to have you here, and you know, every time you're telling people stuff, you can just sense the amazement. I really do hope you do go ahead and do your course, and anything I can do to help and support it, you just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to. And Robert, thank you for your time as usual. And I think that's us, guys.
All right, cool.
Good night, everybody.
Just do it, man. Go and rank.
Do it.
That's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the Facebook group. I hope. Join the Facebook group, guys. Yeah, and that's us. We're finished. Hold on a second. I've got the ends.